This episode of WDW Today is being sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. And if you're trying to plan your next trip to Walt Disney World and want to make it a little bit easier on yourself and have the advantage of having an expert Disney World planner like the ones that work at MEI and Mouse Fan Travel help you plan your next trip, then it's a great option for you to try for your very next trip to Walt Disney World. They can help you get the best options and get you the best deal at Walt Disney World. So why not give them a try? Visit them online at www.mousefantravel.com.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Wednesday, November 26, 2008, and this is episode 493 of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hotchberg of StudioCentral.com. On today's show, I'd like to welcome Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Mike, happy early Thanksgiving.
Oh, thank you. Happy early Thanksgiving to you as well. Will you be dining in Atlanta?
No, I will be heading up to Connecticut to celebrate.
Connecticut.
Yes, close to Plymouth Rock, you know.
Very nice.
Closer, at least. Also on today's show is Len Testa, co-author of The Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. Len, what are you thankful for this year?
What am I thankful for? I am thankful for Marilyn McCoo and who's the guy that sang the song?
This must be some Who reference or
No. Marilyn McCoo and who sang "You Don't Have to Be a Star, Baby, to be in my
show"?
Who sang that?
I have no idea.
Billy Davis? Marilyn McCoo?
Someone will post this in the show notes now.
Anyway, I heard it on XM the other day, and I've been singing it ever since. I actually posted it as my it was my Facebook profile for a while. I'm just thinking, that's a catchy little song. Whatever happened to disco? I love it. I really should stop drinking now, shouldn't I?
Also on today, please don't stop. Also on today's show is the fabulous Annette Owens of MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. Happy Thanksgiving, Annette.
Oh, thank you for pre-Thanksgiving. You know, Lynn's already warming up the rum.
That's great. Well, you know, I'm sure I think his theory is they were still drinking on the Mayflower, so he may as well, you know, follow that tradition as well.
Doesn't it prevent scurvy? I mean, I'm just being cautious.
It's Wednesday, and we're answering your listener questions, and we'll start out with an email from Jolene from Apple Valley, Minnesota, land of Van. All right, MN, is that Minnesota or Montana?
Minnesota. And T is Montana.
Okay, there you go. Anyway, writes, this evening my husband Eric, the meteorologist you spoke with live a few weeks ago, got us an amazing deal at the Grand Floridian with 3 nights free, 3 park days free, and a $200 gift card to boot. In addition, we paid to add the dining plan. My question is, what are the best twofers? We have an 18-month-old baby to consider as well. We've thought about Narcoossee's and maybe the Flying Fish. Thoughts? Are there suggestions for your family-friendly faves? So which 2 Sable service credits are the best?
So the thing about the Flying Fish that I like, number one, I think the food is pretty good. Number two is it's loud. So you wouldn't be disturbed by necessarily the noise of small children there that you might at like Citrico's or California Grill.
Yeah.
So for parents of, you know, very small kids, that might be a plus. You know, the noise factor might be.
I mean, one of my favorite restaurants is Yachtsman Steakhouse, but for some reason I get the no kid vibe in there. Do you guys get that also?
It's the rooms are, so it's not like a one big space, right? Because if it was one big space, it'd be noisier. It's a series of moderately sized rooms, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't, when I ate there, I didn't feel like this would be the place to bring kids little and an 18-month-old. I don't know why. I can't really, there's nothing I can say, it's because of this and this and this. I just got that vibe. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just me.
Totally with you on that. But I think actually I like the Flying Fish quite a bit. I think the food's pretty good. What else would be a good two table service credit?
Yeah, Annette, what do you think? I'm sure you get this kind of a question a lot.
I was really going Flying Fish all the way on this one, just because 18-month-old's got to sit there while you're eating. There's a lot to look at, especially if you're by a window, people walking by. There's noise. There's the kitchen area. There's so much to look at.
Mm-hmm. Wait,
yeah, 18-month-old is not to sit. I said looking at the kitchen area.
Oh, I'm sorry. I totally misunderstood you.
The only other one I would add, also Brown Derby. I mean, it's in the park, and usually when you're in the park, I mean, then all bets are off in terms of kids. I mean, that goes without saying. So I wouldn't worry about that at all. So that's another one you might consider. Next email is from Aaron Foster of Scarsdale, New York. Writes, it's Aaron from the Walt Disney World Moms panel here, DisneyWorldMoms.com. Says, I love the podcast, guys.
Thank you.
I was just listening to the November 5th show when you had a listener question asking whether or not any Walt Disney World info optimized for the iPhone. You said that there are no iPhone-specific Walt Disney World info sites. I'm a serious iPhone addict and obviously a big Disney fan as well. I'm going to play my mom role here and scold you for telling lies. Just teasing. There are actually some cool Walt Disney World maps available for the iPhone. Go to the iTunes App Store and search for Magic Kingdom Mini Guide. The application costs 99 cents. It has a stylized map of the park with pop-up menus that give each attraction's height requirement, the length of the ride, and whether it's a Fast Pass attraction. There are also mini guides for Epcot, Disney's Hollywood Studios, Disneyland, and California Adventure. Why no Animal Kingdom? I don't know. Just thought I'd pass on the tip, and thanks for all the great Disney info.
That's interesting.
I could have sworn I heard Len's little fingers tapping away. Ooh, bye.
Just lost him for the rest of the show.
Yeah, 99. I mean, for 99 cents, really can't go wrong with that.
Well, but the only thing is, I mean, if your cell phone has especially if you've got an iPhone, the information's already available over the web for free. So 99 cents, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad application. I'm just saying once you've got an iPhone, so much information is available for free that it's difficult to justify that kind of application.
Because 99 cents would kill you.
No, it wouldn't, but it's free elsewhere. Now, if they had location-based services in it that told you what was nearby, all of a sudden you're talking about cool.
All right.
Don't forget the Verizon wireless deal that they made.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
The first of the year.
That'll be interesting to see. I mean, if it's going to be useful or if it's going to be like, hey, there's no line for Stitch. This is Great Escape. Wow, really?
No
really?
kidding.
There's no wait there?
If it becomes Pal Mickey,
yeah,
turn
exactly.
your phone off. the silly little jokes.
Guess what? Sounds dangerous. It's got no wait. Go now.
I wonder if that's why they got rid of Pal Mickey, now that you mention that.
Yeah, maybe.
Could be.
Next email is from Matt Algier, who writes, remember you had asked for reviews of Payless car rental?
Oh, yeah. How'd that go?
He wrote in about it. He says, in October, I had the misfortune to have rented...
Wait, let me guess.
Do we need to read anything else?
This might not be good, but continue.
Directly below is the email of the complaint letter I sent to them. I am writing, unfortunately, to express my total dissatisfaction with the recent car rental experience with the Orlando International Airport location. I normally do not like to write in about an experience unless it was positive, but this was so negative that I just thought that your company should know in the hopes that you would want to do something to satisfy your customers. The whole ordeal started immediately after arriving in Orlando. It took 45 minutes for your shuttle to arrive. While I waited for the shuttle, I saw every one of your competition's shuttles arrive and leave with their customers at least twice, and on some occasions 3 or 4 times. I made a call requesting the time for a shuttle 3 times, and each time I told, quote, they are on their way, end quote. As stated earlier, it took 45 minutes for them to arrive. When the shuttle finally did arrive, we had an outstanding shuttle driver named Stan, and I hoped this would be the end of our problems. I was wronged with that, however. When we arrived at the rental facility, which is about 5 minutes from the airport, again, I wondered why it took 45 minutes for your shuttle to show up. I was, quote, greeted by your rental agent, Rashida. Rashida was the rudest car rental agent that I've ever dealt with. In the time that I dealt with her, she indirectly called my brother fat. She also told me that it's natural for a Toyota Yaris's engine to make a rattling noise, especially when there's luggage on the hatchback. While I informed her that I would like either another car or to have the engine's rattling noise noted on the rental agreement, she rolled her eyes at me. She then cursed at me to another employee in a location where she didn't think I could hear her. I think that all the things that she did is inexcusable, and she should be reprimanded for her behavior. Looking forward to hearing back from you.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if they listened.
I guess, yeah. I wonder what if our listener got a response. I'd love to hear it. I didn't know though that the apparently the Yaris motor mount is directly connected to the luggage rack. That's an interesting automotive feat that the Payless thinks that Toyota has managed to accomplish there.
I mean, personally, when we're talking
that's
about
why there's
cars,
one.
I don't rent from the companies like Payless or L&M. I don't know anything about L&M, but I just stick with the national brand companies. And you know, obviously, there's proof in the pudding right there. Next email is from Steve Benita, who writes, I just finished listening to the live show number 24 where there was a question on driving from Walt Disney World from Miami. Well, it is 254 miles from my driveway to the entrance on Osceola Parkway. Depending on what time of day you leave and whether or not my wife is awake to nagging about driving too fast, it can take 3 to 4.5 hours.
3 to 4. So wait, you're saying that there's a 33% reduction
if his wife is out cold.
If your wife is, so the speed limit on the turnpike speed limit is 65, meaning he's going what 90 when his wife is asleep.
Steve adds, traffic is usually heaviest near the West Palm Beach toll plaza. After that, there's usually no traffic. Getting off on Osceola Parkway, mile marker 259, is much easier than getting off on 192, mile marker 242. Because 192 has all the streetlights and traffic due to all hotels, cheesy shops, and restaurants. I like leaving before noon so that I'm out of South Florida into Central Florida around 1:30. I don't know if you wrote. 11. I don't know. You wrote something here. I print out.
So mid Central Florida, 15 minutes later.
I print out a couple of Deb's All Ears newsletters for Sylvia to read to me. Oh, look, honey, they're shutting down Pleasure Island. It also helps if you have a few episodes of WWT to keep your company while your wife and kids fall asleep.
Steve's giving his wife a Benadryl cocktail. Look, honey, I made you a mimosa.
Next email is from Lisa from Wood Cross, Utah. Writes, first off, I have to say I love the show. Keep up the great work. You've helped my husband and I make it through the long months between trips to the world. I need some help finding a souvenir for my husband. I'd like to get him a hat or shirt, but it seems Disney doesn't want our money. We've yet to find something that fits him. He's tall, but not big and tall. At almost 6'9", we can't find shirts long enough. Shirts get bigger around, but with the added girth, they don't add any length. Giving up on his shirt, we've tried to find a hat. As a larger guy, his head is proportionally large. The one size fits most hats don't even come close, and the adjustable hats look mishappen when adjusted to the very largest. I gave up on Mickey ears since it looks like a Disney Yarmulke when he puts it on the adult ears last time. So my question is, anywhere in the world to get tall sizes? Any help would be greatly appreciated. Thanks also to Long-Fingered Len for what I'm sure is going to be spontaneous laughing as we go by the bathrooms in Morocco for our upcoming trip.
Very nice. Funny.
So, tips for guys who are large. My first instinct was Downtown Disney since they have the largest selection of clothing in general.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Isn't that weird?
It's, great minds.
Yeah.
I was thinking, Eric Hollister was over here. I mean, if anyone knows about tall sizes, I mean, he's got to be the one to know about it. I'm just trying to think of where else I've seen it. Because in the parks, I mean, really, it's like, large, extra large, and maybe a double XL, and that's about it.
Yeah, but they don't. It's more. It's not long enough, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Big and small section.
Yeah. I'm just thinking Downtown Disney is going to be your best bet, especially the World of Disney store over there.
It'd have to be if it's not a World of Disney, I guess some of the outlet places, maybe?
Right. Well, we'll have to assume that, going to the outlet is not an option for them. But yeah. Well, some people don't have rent cars or want to take taxi cabs, but that'd be my best bet, unless anyone else have any other suggestions.
If it's not a World of Disney, it'd be hard to find it elsewhere.
Yeah. Next email is from Jeff Sachs, who writes, in regard to episode 394, I'm catching up on old shows, so sorry if you've heard this before, but for people who are going to Walt Disney World with partially used tickets and don't know how many days they have, they need to buy until they get to the park. Canada's AAA, and I assume also America's AAA, allows you to buy tickets on their website at their discount for pickup at the parks. Just a thought. I hope that helped whoever was in episode 394 with that problem, but we thank you, Jeff. Next email is from Kevin from Fort Wayne, Indiana, who writes, Matt, Mike, Len, and the fabulous Annette. We have bought tickets to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party for the first time. I was hoping you could give us some sort of touring tips for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. What's the best time to arrive? Do I need to find a spot for the parade an hour ahead of time? Are the fireworks viewing areas different? Plus, any other tidbits you'd like to share?
We're Scopa. Because actually, the touring plans that we have on the website and in the guide are based on Scopa's advice for touring Very Merry. And that's to start in Tomorrowland and work your way counterclockwise, especially if you've got older children or no children at all. It works out really well because you're in Fantasyland during the first parade. Yeah. And so that you get through a lot of those attractions with less wait. And then if you can make it to the second parade, there's always less people there.
The good news is...
Good.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Lon. We've actually done a couple episodes about this. Episode 23, 172, and 331 all have to do with Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party and commenting on it and giving tips and things like that. So you'll definitely want to take advantage of that. And then, of course, you can listen to episode 183, the $50 cookie, after you go to the party so you can feel better about the fact that you got hosed for how much money they charge.
I thought that, but I think if you go with kids, it's different. I used to think of it differently until I went with Hannah to Not So Scary, and Hannah loved it, and we stayed until 12:30, and I would do it again. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Okay. Next email's from Barb Vassallo.
You're like, yeah, whatever.
Hey,
sucker.
And I'll let you borrow my kids, and you can see if you have the same reaction that Lynn had.
Sounds good. Next email's from Barb Vassallo of Alexandria, Virginia. We're traveling to the world soon with my sister-in-law's family for 5 days. We typically go to no more than 2 parks each day. We have annual park hopper passes, but my sister-in-law inadvertently bought 10-day passes thinking that she would use 2 each day. When she got the passes and read the fine print, she could only visit 1 park per day for 10 days. We know that she can upgrade to park hopper, but is there a reputable place to resell these passes, 4 10-day passes, so that she can buy the passes she really wants?
Have they been used?
I'm going to assume no, because if she's 10-day passes, that would assume no.
Well, if they haven't been used and they don't have her name on them, or they do?
Doesn't say.
If they have your name on them, that's going to be tricky. Although Disney's probably not going to check. So eBay is fine, and I think that would probably work out best.
Yeah, they have those things that are along like 192, but those just look like the shadiest places in the world.
Yeah, exactly. I think eBay is probably your best bet.
Next email is from Ted Knapp of Rochester, New York. Writes, hello, Matt, Mike ×2, Len, and any other guest host. I guess that's you, Annette.
That's me. I'm any other.
My wife and I purchased a Walk Around the World brick in 2000 to celebrate our marriage in the same year. It is, or should I say was, located in the far right side of the DTC. In 2005, we came down to Walt Disney World for our 5th anniversary, and our brick has been moved to beneath a new automated ticket dispenser awning about 20 feet from its original location. Well, last year, 2007, we came back down for one night before Disney Cruise, and we could not find our brick at all. I know the Walk Around the World program is a rather ceased operation, but when we purchased the brick, there was a guarantee in the purchase contract that the brick would be there for 10 years. We were coming down for 9 days in early December with our 5-year-old son, and we wanted to show him our brick. My question is there someone we can contact to find out what happened to our brick?
Guest relations.
Yeah, guest relations would be your best bet, Ted. Definitely give them a call, and I would seriously hope that it's just been moved somewhere and someone neglected to tell you, because if they just removed it, I would be really teed off if I were you, because obviously, you're supposed to get 10 years on that. Newell, who has one over here? You have one, Newell?
I've got 3.
Okay, well,
you have 3 bricks? Really?
There's the problem.
Yeah, there's the problem. Take one of Newell's bricks, Ted.
Yeah,
my oldest one's from 1994, and that's still there.
Okay, so
really?
Yeah.
In the same spot?
In the same spot. They never moved it. The other 2 have been moved. They were generally in the same location, but they have been moved. But the original one that I have right at the footing of the monorail, it's still there. So, in fact, I should give something away. If anyone ever finds it, takes a picture of it, and sends it to me, I'll give something to them.
Okay, there you go.
Little contest.
No, we're not going in the park today. We're just going to look at every brick.
Look for Newell's. Next email is from Scott from Tampa, Florida. Writes, one thing I've always wondered about is how the situation is handled when a park is, quote, filled to capacity. Are guests directed elsewhere at the parking toll booths or bus stops within the resorts, or do they not find out until they get to the turnstiles at the front of the parks? Also, are new guests admitted in small numbers as others leave, or is the entire crowd turned away until the numbers drop back down below a certain threshold? Is this even something that happens more than once or twice a year at any given park? I can imagine the situation could result in an awful lot of unhappy guests if not handled correctly. So I'm curious to hear how Disney deals with it. Love the show. Keep up the great work.
That's a really good question.
Yeah, as I understand, there's different phases. They don't just, shut it down. The first phase is I think they cut out the off-site guests. Those are the first people.
New people coming in get denied.
Right, but resort guests have an advantage, and then they shut down resort guests, and then with the option of opening it back up later. And again, they do. I believe they have reached a certain threshold. It's not like 3 people left, 3 people come in now. It's my understanding, at least that way. I have not encountered it firsthand. Have any of you encountered this, or have any more feedback on this sort of topic?
No. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Lon.
I've been I've always, whenever I've been there when it's really, really crowded, I'm usually there so early that it's difficult to that I don't leave, and it's difficult to gauge what the crowds are outside. I have seen instances where there have been huge numbers of people outside the turnstiles, presumably waiting to get in, but I didn't know what stage level they were at or what Disney's policy was for letting people back in. Yeah,
one of the things that, really, there are only a few days of the year that this is really a threat. July 4th is one of them. Probably, I would imagine Christmas and New Year's would be the 2 days that could really cause it. The thing is that when one park closes, they usually will say, well, the Magic Kingdom, for instance, usually that's the first one to go. Please be sure to, you can go to Epcot or Disney's Hollywood Studios or even Animal Kingdom, depending on the time of the day. And I think Epcot has the largest capacity in terms of people out there. I know I was at the studios on July 4th this past year and did not run into that situation in terms of any kind of closing. So in that case, that didn't happen. But certainly the Magic Kingdom is the most likely one where it's going to happen. and that again usually happens on those days. It doesn't usually happen like any other time of the year, and maybe the week of Christmas and New Year's. I mean, that week is always kind of weird, but it's a good question though.
I'm curious to know if they do close the Magic Kingdom, let's say, do they inform the bus drivers so that if I'm waiting in line for a bus?
They have to.
Yeah,
I would imagine so.
I would hope so.
Do they tell you at your resort as you're waiting on that bus to come pick you up? That's
Sorry, you're not getting in.
The next email is from Derek of Lincoln, Nebraska, better known as Lincoln DizFam on www.today.com. Hoorah! Whereas me and my family will be visiting the world in early January 2009, staying at Old Key West. We have booked a character dining meal at Crystal Palace for 8:15 a.m. on January 7th. I've heard that there is a bus schedule from the resorts that runs earlier than the stated 1-hour park opening to accommodate guests that do have early dining reservations prior to the park opening. Yep. Is this true? And are there buses that start running more than an hour before the park opens? And if so, do we need to schedule a pickup time with our resort? Thanks you for the good work.
Yeah, I would be surprised if you did not see buses running 2 hours before park opening.
Yeah, usually transportation runs anywhere from 90 minutes to 2 hours, and certainly if there's an opportunity for people to go to a particular dining location for before the park opens, they'll have the buses running there.
Buses will be running for that, yeah.
Yeah, and you'll actually find that the bus service is going to be when you go that early, like people who have the first seating, you're going to find that the park it's going to be empty because really very few people get up that early.
Exactly.
Hi 3050. Who's 3050? Or is that the year he thinks that we're going to answer this?
Hello 3050. Go ahead.
All right. Anyway, what are your favorite out-of-the-way photo spots in all or any of the parks, or even at the resorts? The castle is fine and dandy, but come on, how many pictures does one person need in front of a beigeish fiberglass tower? Spaceship Earth, been there, done that. Saw the movie. The hat, well, let's not speak of it. The Tree of Life, vinyl leaves don't do it for me. I'm looking for a photo op that is unusual and still says Disney. Bonus points for deciphering the greeting.
Port Orleans Riverside has some of the most beautiful landscapes of any of the resorts.
I'd agree with that, Mike. Definitely the resorts, especially the higher end resorts. Polynesian, obviously, that's one that really comes to mind. Saratoga, we did a photo shoot over there, and they have some really nice areas over there. I was really impressed by it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they have the landscaping and some the theme parks have been done to death, but the landscaping at the resorts, you can't beat photographing those. It's beautiful.
Yeah, Dylan, what's the 3050 reference?
That's what I'm trying to think. Is it?
I don't know.
So there's 3 letters in WDW and 5 letters in Today, but I don't know what the zeros mean.
I don't think that's. I think we're overthinking it. Annette, any other any other places that you can think of?
We have some great photos from the beach, around the yacht and beach area where you've got the boardwalk in the background. Mm-hmm. Again, kind of sticking with the resorts. And another place, obviously it depends on where the animals are at and the safari and stuff. But over Animal Kingdom Lodge, there's some really unique and different pictures you can get there.
Absolutely. I think in the Magic Kingdom, a lot of the lands are so well themed over there that you can really get some great backdrops in terms of the different areas that you have over there. Like Frontierland is so unique in terms of the different buildings that you could be in front of, or obviously you have the river over there. And
anything in Frontierland with the mill from Tom Sawyer Island.
Yeah. Okay. Time for our last email today, and that means that Mr. Newell will be picking it. So Mike, I'm going to pick 3 emails for you to choose from that will go ahead of the queue over here. So here's option number 1 is Coronado Review. Option number 2 is 4th of July info for a Brit. And option number 3, Spatzel equals Spatzley.
I'm going to have to go with that one because I have no idea what it's about.
So this is a quickie. It's from Frank Cohen, who writes, in episode 480, include you and Len mispronouncing Spatzel. Correct pronunciation is Spatzley. Spatzley. Lie.
We're getting another email about the...
Yeah, please. Yeah, Frank, just record yourself saying it, and that'll be easier. So evidently, we can't pronounce that word, Len, whatever it may be.
Okay.
Very good. Well, thank you, Mike, for picking such a long and helpful email. But that's it for us today. Don't forget that this episode of WDW Today has been sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel, and along with perfect pronunciation of everything in Walt Disney World, they're also pretty good at planning your trip to Walt Disney World. Why not give them a try? Visit them online at www.mousefantravel.com. You want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments? Visit the WDW Today website at www.wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, and the fabulous Annette Owens, I am Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show. Happy Thanksgiving.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio.